Hi, this is Weeb493 here with DigitalDojos. Today I'm going to be showing you a basic introduction to HTML so you guys can get started and create your own websites. I'll start off with the code editor. I'm using Coda. It's a Mac-only application, but you can also use Notepad or TextEdit or Dreamweaver. But I'd recommend Notepad if you're just starting out, don't want to spend any money on any code editors. And we'll start off. I'll show you how to create an HTML document within TextEdit first, and it should be very similar in Notepad. So we'll just open just a blank document, and then we'll hit Save As, and then we're going to save it as index, and down here in file format we'll hit HTML, and we'll save it in this folder, and you'll see it saved it, and you'll see it's got index here, and it showed up over here as index. Now this is actually it's been kind enough to automatically put in all this HTML for us, our HTML, our head tag, our doc type, and all our body tags. But I'll go ahead and get rid of that so we can show you guys what all it's made up of. So we'll start off with the HTML tags. This is basically what you need to tell the browser that you're going to be rendering HTML and not XML or JavaScript or CSS or some other type of text to the browser. So you start off with the HTML tag, and then you close it with the /HTML. So any tag you open, you close with that tag, just a slash right before the text of the tag. So then there's the head tag, and this tells the browser, this is where you put like meta information about the description of the site and some keywords for Google. You can put the title of your site in here. We'll put test site so you guys can see, and this is what shows at the top of the browser window for the user. And if we go here to preview, you'll see it's got test site up here. You can also put some includes to include some JavaScript or CSS to style the page for the user, which we'll get into in future tutorials. So currently all you'll ever really need in your head tag is the title, and it's just what's displayed to the browser in the title bar of the browser. So after the head tag we do the body tag. Now this is where all the text that you want the user to see will go. So let's type this is the body, and we'll go to preview, and you'll see that it's got this is the body, and we've got our title. So we'll start off with some basic text modifiers. I'll show you bold, which is strong. So the strong tag, we'll do bold text. Emphasize tag, EM, we'll do emphasize text. And then we can do underline, which is a U tag. So all these are just very basic text functions to adjust how some text looks. So you'll see it's got bold text, emphasized text, and underlined text. So these are all very basic, but as you can see, even though we spaced them out here, they're all on a single line here. And no matter how many spaces we add right here, they'll all still be on a single line. To make a new line, we'll add a line break, which is a BR tag. This tag does not have a closing, so all you have to type is just this, just BR. And we'll add one here too, so you can see they're all on their own line now. So now to add multiple line breaks, we'll add multiple BRs. We'll save it, and you'll see there's all these breaks between the text. So that's just very basic right there. Now we can go on and we will do some headings. We'll start off with H1, which is the largest of the headings. I believe it goes from H1 to H6. H1 being the largest, H6 being the smallest. I'll show you H1 and H6 both. These are, like if you have a blog, maybe the title of the blog post would be in a heading tag. The title of your site would be in a heading tag. We'll see H1 here and H6. H6 is quite small, but the headings, so you can do H2 if you want an H2 heading. The headings also add some spacing below itself, so you'll see there's some spaces automatically added here below the H1 and the H2. and you can adjust that later with CSS once we get to that stage. So we've got our heading tags. We'll just stick with the H1 for now, and we'll save it as a heading. So now after the heading tags, we can modify some text with the font tags. So with the font tags, you'll see if we save it, nothing's happened. To make something happen, we add an attribute to it. So basically within the opening tag, we'll add an attribute of color. So you type color equals and then 2 double quotes. Within the double quotes, you can type the name of the color. So we'll do red. You'll see it's made our text red. Blue will make it blue. And you can also add hex values. So you could type in, just typing something random in, we'll see what color it is. It's kind of a brownish green. So you'll type in your hexadecimal value to get an exact color that's not just basic blue, red, green, pink, purple, whatever. So you can do that, change the color, and you can also do size, which will adjust the size of the text. So you could do 7. When you preview, it's quite large now. You can add a plus before it to make it a large 7, which it's already a large 7, or you can add a minus to make it a small 7, which is very small. And by default, I believe this is 3. So 2 would be, yeah, by default this is 3. So 2 would be smaller than average text. So there's no use in setting the size equal to 3 because it's already set there by default. So we can leave that there, change that back to 7. So after the font tags, we can add a marquee. This is a very basic tag that a lot of beginners like to use, just because it's a lot of effect for very minimal code. We'll just say this is cool. And as you can see, it's got the text scrolling across the page saying this is cool, and that's just very basic. You'll see that on a lot of MySpace layouts if you go back to some older MySpace pages. So after the marquee tag, I'll show you how to embed an image. So to do an image, you type img, and then you add the source attribute src. Image does not have a closing tag, so you just type the img tag and that's it. The source is the location of the image. So for this, I'll put in this Google logo, and this can be a remote image, like as you can see it's on google.com, or if we had the image locally in a folder, as you can see I've just added it over here, you could type in the local path to it relative to the document you're in. So since it's in the same directory, you could just type that because they're in the same directory, so the server would find it. So we can go preview, and as you can see it's got the Google logo here. So this will work just fine, leaving the image tag just like this, but you should put the width and height attributes if you know them. The width is 275 pixels and the height is 95 pixels. As you can see, it doesn't really adjust the image, it just sets it as the same width and height as it already is. But if the image, the server the image is on is not currently up, or the image is just not loading for some reason, the web page will leave a space designated for the image, so the layout won't be messed up by a missing image. Now, the image tag can also add the alt, which is alternate text. This is used for visually impaired people when sometimes the browser will read text to them, and it'll read the alternate text of the image to give them a short description of the image. So we can type in Google logo. You won't notice any difference. If you view the source, you'll be able to see it, but it just something you should add if possible. It's not a big deal if you're just testing out at first, just learning websites, but later on it's just good practice to do all three of these. So after the image tag, and now I'll show you how to resize an image. This really shouldn't be done within the browser. You should use Photoshop or similar application to scale down the image, but you can set the width and height smaller than the actual image. So we'll just set this at 150 and this at 65, and we can go and preview it. You'll see it's a little bit squished, but it's scaled the image down to fit our needs. So this will take longer to load because it actually is a larger image. It just shrunk down to a smaller size. So if it's a very large image, you should probably scale it down in Photoshop or another application to save loading time and bandwidth. But if you're just scaling it down a tiny bit, it's fine to just scale it down within the browser. So after the image tag, I can show you the paragraph tag, which is just a P. This is a great way to kind of group your text together in an area so that you can have it easy to read and easy to write. So I'll type this as a paragraph, and you'll see it's hard to tell here, but I'll add another paragraph tag. We'll say this is the second paragraph, and you'll see it's automatically added a line break for us here, so we don't have to do it ourselves. So it's kind of grouped our text together in a paragraph, and it's added a line break for us, which is very nice. So now we've got some basic text modifiers, embedding images, a marquee, just some headings, and now I'll show you how to change the background color. So on the body tag, you can add an attribute of BG color, and you can set the background color to any color you wish. We'll set it to blue. As you can see, our whole background is blue. You can set it to any color you want. Use a hexadecimal. We'll try to get another random background color, and it's kind of a purple. So you can set your background color quickly and easily with this to add a nice effect to your web page very easily. Now with the P tags, you can also add an attribute of align to them. So align equals center will align the text in the center of the page, which is great when you're first starting out and not knowing CSS. So you can easily align stuff to the middle of the page, or you can even align it to the right. We'll do this, align equals right. So then you'll see that this code editor is really nice because it gives you suggestions. So instead of having to type that whole thing out, I can just type AL enter and then RI enter, and auto completes. Okay, so you'll see this is aligned to the right now. So we've easily aligned our text without much hassle. So now I'll show you one last thing before we end the tutorial, and that's comments. You can add a comment by typing a less than sign, exclamation point, dash dash, and then here's your comment. So we'll type this is a strong tag, and then 2 dashes, and then a greater than sign, and you'll see it's commented here, and when you load the page you won't see it anywhere. This is just a comment for the site owner so that he or she can kind of space out their code some, maybe if you want to remember where something is or easily find something. And a lot of people use this in like an AdSense ad, so you can find it really easily later on if you're going back and trying to change the ad code or something. So that's the end for this tutorial. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to Digital Dojos, and also check out our website at digitaldojos.com. Thanks for watching.